Cool, Darren, let's get started. Today's topic will be especially on real estate. I know you for like past 3 years or something. You helped me in buying a house in this awesome community. It's called Daybreak. What are some of the things that new home buyers should be worried about before buying a house?
Definitely the interest rates. The goal is to hope rates come down.
Okay.
You just want to make sure you get a good agent. With that agent, if you have a good agent, he's going to know the home inspection process.
What are some of the things which can go wrong?
And in some cases, a home inspection can go so bad that a good agent will say, let's just get out of this and go find another house.
Yeah. Before meeting you, I was talking to other agents. They're pushy. They push you like, this is the last property, you're like, if you don't buy this, like something bad gonna happen. You will miss the opportunity. That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
They make you sign a contract, so you can't go with other agents, right? That's one of the rules in the US. Right?
Yes, yeah, it's a legally binding contract.
What is a path to become a real estate agent? Cool, Darren, let's get started.
All right.
Thank you to be in my channel. It's called Mindfulness with Manish.
Okay.
Today's topic will be on your journey, especially on real estate. I know you for like past 3 years or something. You helped me in buying a house in this awesome community. It's called Daybreak, South Jordan, located in Utah. It's near Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like basically, where were you born, your family, and profession-wise, what do you do?
Yeah, so originally from Salt Lake City, was brought up in a small town in Layton. My mom got remarried, moved to Salt Lake, and I went to school here, grew up here. It's a beautiful community. It's grown like crazy. I mean, I graduated high school in 1997, and this place I remember going up to the mountains on the East Bench. You could look out when I was in high school, and half of the city was dark and half of the city was light. Now the lights go
Everything
all the
is
way
like
out.
built up.
Yeah, I mean, Daybreak, there was no such thing as Daybreak even.
Okay.
I don't know, 18 years ago, I don't think there was a Daybreak. So it's really blossomed, and it's been become a great state to live in. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Do you like, as you mentioned, you are a real estate broker or agent. So do you like your job?
I do like it. Yeah, I actually love it. I'm on the #1 real estate team in Utah. The team has grown immensely. There were 40 agents on it when I got there. It's now 130. It's a great culture, good people. So yeah, I really enjoy it. And it keeps me busy, and it keeps me doing what I love. So I love meeting people like how you and I met, and then it turns into this. And yeah, just gonna meet great people and then help them find their dream home.
Nice. So what makes Salt Lake City different than other states, basically other cities? Why people like to invest here more?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely our economy. Utah's always had a great economy overall. And then also another thing about Utah that's pretty unique is we have all 4 seasons. So you've got winter, you've got spring, you've got summer, you've got fall. And so you get a taste of everything here. We have amazing mountains, probably some of the better mountains in the world. Skiing, everybody loves the skiing, of course. Hiking, the lakes, even southern Utah is just right there within 4 hours away. You've got Lake Powell, Bryce Canyon, Moab.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do here, especially if you're an active person.
If you are an active person, an outdoor person, yeah. Especially during the COVID, a lot of people came here from California and other places.
Oh my gosh!
And they bought, like my neighbors were from Seattle. I saw some people from California here. So I think that was another reason of bumping up, like the market going up for Salt Lake City. That's maybe another reason.
Yeah,
and as you mentioned, it's full of mountains, full of beauty. So that is another thing which I really like. Yeah.
Yeah, and it brought a lot of diversity to Utah, which is one thing Utah's always lacked, is having diversity. And so when California moved here, I think there was 48,000 people in just the year 2022, 48,000 people from California. And so we've really seen places get revamped, places such as Rose Park, which used to be in really bad shape, with its proximity to downtown being right there off the, just get on 6 North, you're 5 minutes from downtown. Rose Park has really been revamped. I mean, there's still parts of it that
Which park? Rose Park?
Rose Park.
Where is that?
It's about 6 minutes from downtown. It's off 600 North.
It's rammed up now?
It's really rammed up. And Rose Park was a place in the 90s you just didn't go to.
So which is the place you recommend for new buyers who's investing first time in Salt Lake City area?
They might want to go to the surrounding areas. If you're a first-time home buyer, I mean, the heart of Salt Lake City is pretty expensive. Sugar House is really expensive. I mean, I would recommend places like Daybreak, I think are really good. Rose Park for a first-time home buyer. You just want to make sure you get a realtor that understands Rose Park and the parts that are more kind of been revamped. Because those are the price point of like, I would say under 500. And then, yeah. So yeah, as far as places to live.
Those are the places where new home buyers can buy. What are some of the things that new home buyers should be worried about before buying a house?
Definitely the interest rates. I mean, the rates are higher, the housing market's higher, right? I think we're up 5.9% from last June. So, you know, housing prices in Utah are still significantly higher. We have seen them come down over the years a little bit. I mean, just depending on what the area is. But I would say if you're a first-time home buyer, I would definitely get connected with a good real estate agent. Also get connected with a good lender for to get these. They're doing what's called a 2-to-1 buydown right now. And so that's where you can buy your interest rate down 2 points the first year and then 1 point the second year. And we've been able to help a ton of first-time home buyers using that program.
What is that program about? 2 points in first year. What is it point about?
Yeah, so a point's like an interest rate, right? So
see.
instead of saying buy 2 interest rates down, it's saying buy 2 points
to help
down.
the buyers to buy houses.
Yeah, exactly. So if the rates are 6.5, your first year, your rate would only be 4.5 for the first 12 months. And we ask the sellers to pay for this buy down, which is 3% of the purchase price. So if you have a $400,000 home, it's going to be $12,000. The seller's going to put into an escrow account. And it's going to pull the difference between that 6.5% and 4.5% for the first 12 months. The difference, what the payment would be, let's say it's $500, they pull it from this escrow account. And the goal is to, in the next year, it'll be 1%. So it'll go up to a 5.5. And then after that, it goes back to your original rate. The goal is to hope rates come down. And then you can use what's left in that escrow account to pay for.
That's a good idea. Actually, people do that here in Salt Lake City?
We do it all the time. Yeah, especially for first-time home buyers. Really for anybody. It's for anyone, not just a certain type, I guess. But it's been really helpful.
Okay, so the new home buyer should care about the rate of interest. That's first thing. Other things are finding a good lender, finding a good agent, and then location, which you mentioned, which are the most important places, right?
Yeah.
Regarding like if they like a house, like what are some of the things which like can go wrong? What are some of the things which they should care about before buying a house, like inspection and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was going to say, and this is why you want to have a good agent guiding you through this process. Buying a house can be a really easy process, or it can be a really nightmare process. You just want to make sure you get a good agent, someone you can confide in. You can go to Zillow and look up their reviews. Find a good agent. Also, make sure you have a good lender. With that agent, if you have a good agent, he's going to know the home inspection process, how that works, right? He's going to get you set up on a home inspection. He's going to negotiate on your behalf after you're under contract when you do find things that are wrong. And in some cases, a home inspection can go so bad that a good agent will say, let's just get out of this and go find another house.
Yeah.
And if you have these things set up the right way, it can be a really seamless process. But if you don't,
it can also become a nightmare.
It can become a nightmare. So if you have a friend who does like 2 deals a year and isn't really involved, he might be a great friend, but he might not really know the whole real estate process the way a full-time seasoned agent would know. So it is very important. Yeah.
Right. That is a good point. Also, I remember like in my case, when I bought a house, there was no inspection done. So basically, when it's a seller's market, they like when buyers do not inspect the property. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They would rather you not. Yeah, but you definitely want to.
But we want to. So there's always a negotiation between a buyer and a seller.
There's always a negotiation. Like in this market today, you can always do an inspection. Yeah, I mean, I've been in 4 multiple offer situations in the past 2 weeks. And 2 of them we did inspections on both of them. And so we were able to do a due diligence period, whereas before when you bought your place in 2021, you couldn't even do an inspection. I mean, you could, but you had to do non-refundable earnest money, high amounts. And
that's what we did. Yeah. Can you tell me what is earnest money about?
Yeah, so earnest money is also known as good faith money. So earnest money is it's a collateral you're willing to put up for the seller to take their house off the market and go under contract with you.
It's like a token money. It's like some like initial deposit, which is an assurance that we're going to buy your house.
Yep,
And
exactly.
also sometimes you put non-refundable earnest money. Right?
If you're in situations, I always say this to my clients, these are recommendations. We can win these multiple offers. They're just recommendations. You don't have to do this. But yeah, things like high earnest money, non-refundable earnest money. We had a situation in Heber City where my client did 100,000 non-refundable earnest money. But the house was newer. I had the inspector go through the house before we went under contract. Yeah, but you're waiving your appraisal, your right to an appraisal, you're waiving your due diligence, your right to an inspection. So you got to be real careful in that case.
Okay, got it. And things can go bad. If you are not able to pay, then basically lawsuits and all those things will happen to you, right?
You can do that. I've never been involved in a lawsuit personally, but they do happen. I mean, that's why we have these big contracts and million addendums.
Right.
As you know, someone was taken to court over each one of
those. Can you walk me through the entire process of buying a house? So basically what I know is when I'm a buyer, I found you on Zillow, right?
Yeah.
And then from Zillow, you show me multiple houses. We select one house and like we put a contract under that house, right? Can you walk me through that process?
Yeah, so basically so when you find the house that you like, right, you want to get an agent who will take you around, show you as many homes as you need to until you find the right one. And you also want that agent to be listening and paying attention to each home you're going to get feedback from you of things you like and don't like. That's how you can hone in on the right one, right? So from that point, you find the house you love, you make an offer on it. If the seller, there will be negotiations a lot of times back and forth between the buyer and the seller, especially in this market right now. And then once you come to an agreement, then you go under contract. You put up your earnest money. Then from there, we're going to do the home inspection right away. You're going to wire the earnest money. You have 4 days to do that. We get the inspection. I usually order the inspection day one, right? The day we go under contract. So we have everything lined up and we have plenty of time to do the negotiations after. And then you have the lender. This is where the lender comes in. And this, I have one lender I work with now, absolutely love him. He's amazing. Sometimes my clients will want to go with another lender, a friend of theirs. And I always caution them, like, just make sure they really know what they're doing because that can turn into a nightmare quick.
Lenders are the bank, right?
The lenders are the banks, yeah, banks, credit unions.
But the big banks charge more money, like more rate of interest than small. I think so.
I think so. I don't know. I don't think the lenders would know more on that. I don't know.
You don't deal with lenders.
I don't deal with that. I just I focus on the real estate part and what I need to do to get my clients to the finish line. And then that's why you want to have a good lender who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. What is the journey for a seller? So we talked about buyer. So seller is the same thing. They found an agent and they help list the property on Zillow and other websites.
Yeah. So you just get so when a seller sells their house, like I have one coming up in South Jordan, actually out here. And, we spoke on the phone yesterday. We want her, she's going to clean her house. I'm going to come look at it. I'm going to hire cleaners to go in there because based off what she told me, there's a lot of clutter. There's a lot going on there. So I want to make sure a house is spotless when we're going to show it because that means everything. I've walked into houses with bad smells and my clients turn right around and walk out immediately. We had one the other day where it was a smoker house. We couldn't, my client was getting sick being in the house. Loved the house. Great floor plan, amazing floor plan. But we didn't even make an offer on it because the smoke was so bad. So have good fragrances in your house. These things make a difference. If the house is going to be vacant, if they're already moved out, you want to hire a good staging company. Okay, you're not going to know who a good stager is if you're just doing this Google searches. So make sure you have a good agent who has all these people lined up for you. And yeah, so you want to have the house looking good, smelling good, in tip-top shape. Curb appeal. Hire a good curb appeal company that's going to come in and weed the place and get a gardener. These things all make a huge difference.
Yeah.
You might spend a couple $1,000s getting your house ready, but you might make tens of thousands or more just by doing it and hiring an agent that knows what they're doing. So that
makes sense. Also, if you go with what is a binding contract between the agent and the seller, right? So if you are selling a property and you already have one agent, they make you sign a contract. So you can't go with other agents, right? That's one of the rules in the US.
Yes. Yeah. It's a legally binding contract. So what that's doing is saying, look, I'm committing to you. I'm going to put money into marketing your place. you've got to commit back to me, right? You could never have like two agents selling the same house.
Selling
I mean,
the
you
same house.
could if they're working together, of course, and it's a co-agent thing. But yeah, I mean, the contract, they're written for a reason, right? Like we talked about, people have been sued before, people have gone to court. This just keeps people out of trouble. So we want to make sure that we have that contract that binds us to one another.
And the same, I think the new rule is coming for the buyer and the agent contract.
Oh yeah, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, so I'm actually in a weird way kind of excited for this.
I think it's good for the agents, right?
Well, in a sense. So this will take place in 2 days, August 17th. They've already removed the commissions from the website, so that before a buyer's agent could see what his commission was, what he was going to get paid if his clients bought that house. I don't have any problem with them removing that. I never really looked at it to begin with. And you know, it's now going to come down to, because a buyer, especially a first-time home buyer, there's no way they're going to fork out 24 grand to their buyer's agent for showing them some houses and getting them under contract. But when it comes to getting them under contract, at that point, that's when the negotiations are going to take place. So what's going to happen here is a lot of agents who are part-time, like some of our good friends who just do this thing on the side, those are going to phase out, right? There's 19,000 agents in the state of Utah. 10,000, half of those do 0 to 5 transactions a year. So basically half of those, and I'm not being rude when I say this, but if I was doing a sales job where I only did like 1 or 2 deals a year, I probably wouldn't know that industry that well, right? So you have a lot of agents there that are doing it part-time. Those agents are going to fizzle out, without a doubt.
Those agents will do what?
They'll fizzle out. They're going to phase out.
Phase out.
They'll end up not renewing their license.
Why?
Because you're gonna have to go in and negotiate your own commissions now. So if you don't know how to do that, and you don't have training on it. I mean,
so you have to do negotiation on the commission. Also, you have to make sure you are like the agent, like the customer or the buyer is trusting you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because if they trust you, then only they will do a binding contract with you, right?
Exactly.
And then the agent will show you around and do. But if you're doing part-time, you're not investing your full time, then that's going to be hard for you.
That's going to be hard for the buyer. And the thing is, you have to sign a buyer broker agreement now before you even show a house. So you've got to sign this thing saying, hey, you're going to pay me 3% as the buyer. I'm going to work my tail off to get the seller to pay for it. And that's all going to be part of the negotiations. Well, if you're only doing 1 or 2 transactions a year, you're not really going to know how to do that. You're going to be like, wait, what? I have to negotiate. How do I do that? I did it the other day. This was a great practice try for me, because I did it on a house that had multiple offers on it. It was a 2% commission. I could still see it on the MLS, right? And that's okay. So we won the multiple offer situation, went under contract. After the inspection, I asked for an additional 0.5%, and I got it. They said, you know, you've been great to work with, and it's so again, this is just it's going to be a trial and error.
We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
It's going to be chaotic at first, but I think overall it'll be really good.
Cool, man. What are some of the memorable or good something that you basically admire? One of the successful transaction that happened in your life when you sold or bought a property?
One of my clients I admired?
Yeah, from the client side, yeah.
An awesome experience I had. Well, I'll tell you one right now. One we're under contract in Park City, actually. And this is a good one. This has been an amazing experience with these guys. So I met these guys on Zillow back in December. Did some FaceTime showings for them here and there. They live in Texas. They're looking to buy in Park City. And we had a house come up that they absolutely loved. It was about $2 million above their budget. So the house was
$2 million?
$2 million above their budget. So they were looking for about a $3 million home. This one was $5 million. So it was listed at $5 million. I sent it over to him. I said, I know this is above your budget. However, I just wanted you to have eyes on it because it's right where you guys want to be, which is in Park City, right by the Old Town ski lift. And, you know, he said, I'm not sure. Let me think about it. I'll have to get my partner involved. The price ends up dropping $250,000. So I sent it back to him and said, they just dropped $250,000. So we go in and put an offer in, and he gets his partner on board with it. We put an offer in, and I sent it to the agent, and the agent calls me back and says, you know, we have multiple offers, right? And I said, no, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So we had to go restructure the offer, send it back in. I call the agent about an hour or 2 hours later, and she says, you didn't win. The other people got it. So
People are buying 5 million houses here
with multiple offers.
with multiple
With
offers.
multiple
Wow.
offers on it, yeah.
$5 million houses you can buy anywhere else also.
Yeah, this is in Park City. Yeah, and it's a 2,400 square foot house, so it's not a big house at all. It's absolutely beautiful on the inside. But yeah, so she said we didn't get it. So the next day, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, I know we're gonna get this house. I just have a feeling it's still showing active. And the agent called me the next day and said, hey, these other buyers, we're having a hard time with them. And we ended up getting it. My clients were just through the roof elated. They couldn't believe it. And so that was a really cool experience, just because it gives you joy when you can feel it radiating from other people and you were a part of it. So yeah.
Right. What are some of the bad experiences you had?
Ooh, I had a really bad one one time, and I seen your question on this last night. So a bad experience I had one time is a guy flew in from Seattle. I'd never met him. It was a FaceTime showing. This went from a really good experience to a really bad experience quick. We were in a multiple offer situation. I saw a comp where I knew this property was listed way under market value. I'm talking like 60,000 under market value. There was an offer that must have seen that as well. They bid way up. My client was 55,000 under theirs. We did our pre-inspection contract. We went in with non-refundable earnest money. We beat the offer that was 55,000 higher than ours. We beat that offer. They liked our non-refundable earnest money. That other offer had an appraisal contingency. The listing agents didn't know, must have missed this other comp. And they went with our offer. So appraisal comes back. My client got 60,000 in equity, instant equity, on about a $500,000 home. So that's really good. If you crunch the numbers on that, the percentage of equity he got out of it. So anyways, he's excited. We're all excited. We end up closing the deal. Well, he flies in. We had possession as a later date. We needed to give the seller 2 weeks to move out. He missed that on the contract, and we'd gone through the contract thoroughly. He was very excited. He ended up flying in on the day of closing, not knowing that he wasn't able to take possession for another 2 weeks, and he couldn't get in the house. He flipped his lid, flipped out on me.
Why he couldn't get the house?
Because the possession wasn't for another 2 weeks. So we closed, right? So let's say we closed on the 1st, but he couldn't take possession till the 15th. Well, he flew in on the 1st, thinking he was going to go right and move right into the house. But you got to read your contracts. And all he had to do was just call me and say, hey, I'm flying in today. And I could have said, no, possessions in another 2 weeks. So anyways, it went from a really good experience, helping this guy win it, to a very bad one.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. And one last thing. So basically, if somebody wants to enter into this career, what is the path to enter into real estate?
What is a what, sorry?
What is a path to become a real estate agent?
So I would say, I have a friend who just got into it. Definitely immerse yourself in it. I mean, you're gonna take the test. You got to sign up for the schooling. The schooling, it took me about 3 months to do. You can do it in a month. I mean, I've known agents who've done it in a month. The average person, I passed the test the first time. Very fortunate for that. I did not think I was going to pass it while I was taking it. Ended up passing it. The average real estate agent, I think it takes them 4 or 5 times to pass that test. The test is funny. A lot of the stuff you'll never use.
You never use it.
You'll never use it.
That's what I heard.
Real estate, yeah. So you do that, and then I would just say, find a good broker like, Keller Williams or someone who offers good training. And then you also, one thing I did that really helped me was I just immersed myself in it. Instead of watching something on TV, I would always watch real estate. And I started finding these professionals, this guy, Ricky Caruth, Kevin Ward, and you'll find kind of the person that resonates with you. And just watch as much YouTube as you can. Watch YouTube videos on real estate was probably the most impactful on me, because then it gave me ideas. I heard about programs and softwares you could buy. And then also, what was the other thing I was going to say? Read books. Just go to Amazon, type in real estate 101 or whatever, and just read books. I feel like if you're doing that, you're bringing all that type of energy closer to you. And, I did that for the first 5 months. Nice. My brother calls me out of the blue one day and says, hey, I know a guy who has a real estate team. He wants to talk to you. And I got on a team, and then it just took off from there. So, but I believe it had a lot to do with me putting my energy into it. So
cool, man. What makes a agent good or bad?
A good agent will follow up with you. Very responsive. You've got to be responsive. People don't like to wait. I do most of my communication through text. I don't think people want to be on the phone forever. So I do most of it through text. When someone texts me, I text them back immediately. If I'm driving, I pull over. The only time I'll take longer is if I'm showing a home with the client, because I'm not going to stop what I'm doing while I'm with that client. But follow-up is huge. And then also following up with them consistently, sending them properties that match. You'll set up a search form when you first get together with them, and send them properties, listen to them while you're with them, and then send them properties that match what they're looking for. A bad agent.
I've experienced with bad agents. So before meeting you,
Yeah.
I was talking to other agents. They are pushy. They push you like, this is the last property, you like, if you don't buy this, like something bad gonna happen. You will miss the opportunity. That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true at all. They're just being lazy.
They just want to sell the property through you, basically, as you buying the property. They just want to make profit, quick profit. I think I don't like those agents which, like, I like honest agents, which who are like basically tell you, okay, this is something bad, so this is something good, this is what fits your budget, this is what you are looking for, like what you did, right? So I told you I want something which is right in front of a lake, has mountains, and you found me one over here.
And we got a good one. Yeah, it's a great place with the rooftop. And those guys fizzle out. I never understood the guys who go for the short game to show one or two properties. I had 6 agents when I bought my house, because a lot of them were the same way you said. They were pushy, or they were like, this is the last house. And so it took me a while to find a good agent, but eventually I did. But yeah, I would say never be pushy as a real estate agent, man. You're there for the long haul, and keep in mind, these people are going to tell other people about you, and that's how your business will really start to take off. And so if you're pushy, I mean, I just got done closing on a place last July with my clients. We've been looking for over 2 years, and we probably saw over 80 homes. I think they wrote that on the review they wrote me, and that's okay. That's okay if we need to see that many. I mean, usually it doesn't take that long. But you just gotta wait until you find the right one for them. So
cool, man. We talked a lot about real estate, buying a property, selling a property, how to become an agent. Any last thought, any closing thought that you wanna give regarding anything? People who wants to come buy a house, sell a house, or become a real estate broker, anything you want to give?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to become a real estate agent, it's an awesome industry. It's an exciting industry. I would say you either love it or hate it. There's no real gray area. But it's exciting. I mean, I get to meet people like you, and here we are doing this. I get to see all these communities. Before I did real estate, I'd never made it out to Daybreak. I think I'd been to Daybreak once in my life. I'm out here once or twice a month now. You get to see all the beautiful parts of Utah. I mean, and if you're a people person, this is a great industry to be in, because you're going to meet a lot of great people. You get to show a lot of amazing homes. You get to show a lot of not so amazing homes. But you get you meet a lot of good agents as well. There's a lot of good real estate
networking is something that basically you will make a lot of networking and a lot of friends. That's the goal. That's the thing about real estate, right?
Absolutely. Met a lot of friends through this. Yeah, like you're a good friend to me now,
you are also a good friend, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
Thanks to be in my show.
Sorry,
maybe we should have another podcast on a different topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great. Yeah,
I'd love to, man. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. Thank you. Have
Appreciate
a nice day.
All right, you too, man.